Okay, I want to talk about who is Alex Jones. Alright, a lot of you people know who Alex Jones is. He talks about conspiracies. Alright, let me tell you about conspiracies now. I used to be the most outstanding skeptic that you could ever think of. One day, I just wanted to say, okay, let me look up conspiracies and see what kind of stupid, dumb shit people think. Just out of random. Already, I had a bias against conspiracies because it's not mainstream, it's not on Fox 5 News, so you gotta be sick in the head, right? You have to be sick in the head. So I look it up, and what happens? I actually become a believer. I believe in these 9/11 stuffs and all this other stuff. So we might all have a bias against conspiracies to begin with that we might not even know, but I know now that's not the way you should go. Okay, so then what happens? I find Alex Jones. I'm like, this is the guy. I like this guy. He's making me laugh. He's speaking some informative stuff. I'm like, this is the guy. This is the guy who we need to like. I'm like, oh my god, I was in some for 4 years probably, just hearing every video. I had him on podcasts. I was listening to him every single day. 3-hour shows. I'm listening to all 3 hours every day. So I'm a believer. Then I don't know. I start seeing how he treats his callers, like callers that disagree, maybe have a different opinion on something, and he just eats them. He just goes at them, screams at them, and it's like these people are respectfully disagreeing with him, but he wants to be like, you're a fucking idiot. He's screaming at everybody, right? So I'm like, this guy is like, this is not a normal guy. But anyway, who's Alex Jones? Who is Alex Jones? He is, I don't know, maybe he's a profiteer. He's trying to make money off of this stuff. Maybe he is trying to be informative. But Alex Jones followers, they're also they're a little too defensive when it comes to Alex Jones. They look at him like as a savior type figure, because I was talking to this guy one day, yesterday. We was talking on Yahoo, and he started mentioning AIDS and how there's a cure for AIDS. And I'm like, you ever heard of Alex Jones? And he's like, yeah, what do you think about him? I'm like, he's like 50-50, half and half. He sells good things, but then it's like he mixes truth with lies, I think. So I go and say that, and he's instantly telling me, you're COINTELPRO. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you really thinking I'm COINTELPRO? I'm saying I agree with Alex Jones, what he says. Like, all this stuff about New World Order, he's on point with that stuff. But then, when I'm like, I don't know, you're kind of like weird. Like, he says stuff about 9/11 and New World Order, but then, like, if you disagree with him, he wants to kill you. So I'm like, this guy's not a normal guy. He's not a normal reporter like that. What's that lady's name from Democracy Now? Amy Goodman. Like, level-headed people. He's not level-headed. So he's like a little immature, I guess. So then this guy I was talking on Yahoo, he's like, he thinks, because I'm like, oh, you know what? Oh, I know what happened. He was talking about, he was talking about solutions. I was saying the only thing Alex Jones doesn't do is offer solutions, because I clearly remember in one of the episodes on the podcast, Alex Jones was like, a caller called in, and he said, how come you don't offer any solutions, Alex? You're always talking about doom and gloom, the end of the world's coming, but you don't do nothing about it. Alex Jones said, no, we don't do that here. We don't offer solutions here. That's not my job. I give the info, and it's up to the people to come up with the solutions. And I'm like, if I'm Alex Jones, I'm in that position where he knows, connects with all kinds of smart people. I would be the one trying to make solutions since I'm in that position to be making solutions. So why is Alex Jones gonna say, no, how dare you? No, and then the guy I'm telling this to on Yahoo, he's like, you're a liar. You're a liar. I'm like, why would I lie about that? Some little arbitrary nothing, insignificant nothing. He's like, you're a liar. You're COINTELPRO. I know it. You're a traitor to the government. I'm like, bro, seriously. He doesn't offer solutions. He's like, show me the proof. And I'm like, it's hard to find things like right on the spot. And this was like late at night, so I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna find it. I couldn't find it. The guy's like, I knew you were a liar. So I'm like, Alex Jones supporters, they're a little too defensive when it comes to Alex Jones. If you say anything about him, they're gonna be like, no, how dare you say that to about Alex? He's a good man. You're not doing any better, so shut your mouth. Oh man. So Alex Jones supporters, they could be a cookie. I mean, I'm not saying that all Alex Jones supporters, but I could see why people are like, oh, we wear tinfoil hats and stuff like that. Anyway, but who's Alex Jones though? Seriously, like, is he like a disinfo agent, misinfo? Is he COINTELPRO? Like, I don't know. It's hard to determine that. I don't know. He does speak some good stuff, but as a person, I don't think he's one of the better ones. Like, I could tell you, if I was in Alex Jones' position, I'll definitely make some revolutionary changes. Trust me. But Alex Jones, I don't know. He's only about money, really. He's only about money, for real. I'm not even lying. He'll be like, there's a lot of videos on YouTube you can see that he's like, a caller calls in and he's like, but what about the sign? Did anyone notice the InfoWars sign? Did people recognize Infowars.com, that sign? And he's like, the caller is like, that's not even the point. The point is the message, not did they know your website. Who cares if they know your website, Alex? Nobody. It shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't be about, oh, go to my website, it's free. Okay, it's free, but what happens when you get the hits? You getting money, right? So don't say it's free. Don't act like you're not making money. You're making money. So he's probably just a profiteer like everyone else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're making money and you're spreading some truth. That's not so bad. He's not as bad as other people are. There's probably way worse people out there. Who is Alex Jones? I guess he's just a normal guy like everybody else, trying to make it in this world, but I don't know. Maybe he could handle it a little differently. He acts like a little too immature sometimes. I'm sure y'all get that after a while. Cause I remember for years I was into him, but then like over the years he just constantly would act like a kid when someone disagreed. I don't know. He does some good stuff though. That's Alex Jones, and that's his supporters. I guess that's it. I'll hit you up another time, YouTube. Let me know what you think though. Like, am I wrong? I'm probably right on the money, aren't I? I'll check you guys out later.